And we're live. What's poppin' chat? What's poppin' Twitch? What's poppin' everybody? This is Zomb Slays. This is Music Mondays. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome. This is the place where we discuss all underground activity and independent creativity and things of that nature, and all of a sudden, a bunch of wacky shit gets covered on Music Mondays. But I got a good show for you guys tonight. And I apologize for being a little late, because I was deciding what I'm gonna do with these fucking submissions, chat. See, we're gonna have a real good conversation today. For sure. For sure. We're gonna go in depth on what it is to be a real creative and to be a fake creative. What it is to put your heart into something and what it is to not put your heart into something. And both of those things can be many different things for many different people. But that's why we're going to dive deep into it. But first, like I said, this is episode 25. And if you missed episode 24, it's up on YouTube. YouTube.com/ZombSlays. Or you can just type in Music Mondays on YouTube and we will pop up. But yeah, updates since last week. I hope you all had a good week. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's healthy. I hope everybody's chilling. Music Mondays is busy. Music Mondays is growing. Since last week, we've of course dropped another written piece, and if you missed that, go check that out at allmusicmondays.com as well. But yeah, man, we're basically starting to pump out content in a semi-consistent way, and I'm really excited for it. Everything's going as well as it can for how fast Music Mondays grew. So growing pains. But as far as our content goes, everything's great. And if you don't already, follow us on all social medias at All Music Mondays, because that's where you're gonna get the fastest and most accurate updates from us. But let me try to think of any other updates. No, just be on the lookout for everything new from Music Mondays. Other than the fact that I discussed our weekly content schedule pretty detailed last week, but for those of you that don't know, every Friday we're going to be coming out with a weekly written piece, and the following day, on that Saturday, is when these episodes of Music Mondays are going to drop. Because if you're here early on, they used to drop every Friday, but I moved articles to Friday, and we're going to be dropping these VODs during the weekend, so we can spread out our content and have more shit for you guys, you know? But, nonetheless, yeah, man, just make sure you're on the lookout for shit for Music Mondays. Of course, everything's linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you're visiting allmusicmondays.com. Make sure you're just keeping up to date, because the amount of just insightful, like, content we have coming is actually crazy. So just sit tight and let us do our thing. But let's just get into episode 25 and the schedule that I have planned. This week's sort of going to be like a sort of like a freestyle episode, but not really, because I still have a few notes. But let old Grandpa Zomb sit you down here in the underground knee, because if you remember back, I'd say like within the first like 5 episodes of Music Mondays, Um, there would be discussions I would have about the environment of the underground and how often people release music and how much more people released music back in the day. And the day meaning like just, in earlier years, 2018, 2017, and the music was a lot more common back then, but at the same time, not all of it was the greatest. So in turn, you have people not dropping as much these days, but also what they drop these days is fire. So there's a little bit of correlation there, but overall, like there's a significant decline in genuine creativity in the underground, and I'm not sure whether that be from the environment. That guy just ate shit. For those of you listening on audio, we have Skate 3 in the background. Someone just ate shit. But I think there's a significant connection to all of those things. And I'm not sure, like I was saying, if it's the environment or if it's the people or others are just like getting older and don't really have the drive, or maybe it was the pandemic. A number of things could have really changed this landscape, so it's pretty hard to put a exact reason on it. But I do know that pre-pandemic there was definitely a lot more creativity. So you can definitely chalk up at least 25% of this weird vibe energy that the underground has, or the independent creative music scene has, or just the independent creative scene has, to COVID. You can definitely chalk it up to COVID. Not all of it, certainly not all of it, but that's fine. Like that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? People gotta ease back into regular life. Never mind creative life. So that's not really what we're here to discuss. I think I'm here more so to talk about the people that either have lost their drive and try to like keep the flame going, or the people that just simply are hollow and see through, like a fucking glass window. People that just make music to just because they want it as a fucking job, because they don't give a shit about anything else but plays and money, which is a lot of. And don't get me wrong, in earlier years, there was a lot of that in the underground as well. It just seemed that there was so much creativity that it sort of drowned out the people that only did it for bread. Like, they just got really forgotten about because there was just so much fire going around. And now, it's not like those people that who were making fire back then are gone. It's just like the aura is gone. And that's what Music Mondays is here for. And Music Mondays doesn't really have a lot of tolerance for the weak shit, man. Like, the weak shit being, like, no creative integrity, no work ethic. Like, all that shit's weak shit to me because when the underground was at its best and prime, nobody gave a fuck about working too much or sacrificing anything or anything like that, because what was going on at the time was so special and it felt right. So that's what made the sacrifices really easy for a lot of people. And I could definitely vouch. But where that went and where that got lost, I think is different for everybody. But um it's just not something that you can harbor, and I don't want it around Music Mondays whatsoever. It's just not good vibes, man. Like creatives in general um go through enough and already have enough stress and work hard enough. You know what I mean? So the people that come in and Look, man. Like, this is this is just really a blunt conversation at the end of the day. Like, there's a way to talk about this and explore all angles, but like if you're somebody who like claims they care about their art or claims they care about the scene or claims they care about their um creative partners but actually don't fucking do anything and drag them down and weigh them down because you know that they're going to be grinding. So you just think that you can just like slide by like over and over again? Like, bro, you're actually like the worst type of parasite to infect independent creativity. Like, there's enough money hungry people, there's enough scammers, there's enough this, there's enough that. All that shit's already all been around. But this new type of lazy fucking demon that like possesses everybody to like make them still think that they have the same passion when it's clear that they don't. And this goes for all angles, not just music. Bro, get the fuck out. Like, grow the fuck up and either fucking get your shit together and put your all into whatever you do or don't. Like, stop riding the fence, second guessing yourself, making it obvious that you only care about certain things, making it obvious that you have your own personal agenda. Bro, fuck all that. Because you want to know why? The people that do make it, because there aren't many, that are like that, always fall right the fuck off. Every time. Every fucking time. It's either a 15 minutes of fame, or they just end up being an IRL piece of shit. You got your 6ix9ines, you got your... You know, there's a multiple cases of this. Where bad people took the fast route and it worked, but in the long term, where the fuck are you at? Nowhere. Possibly worse worse off than you were fucking before. So, if you think that fucking fake it till you make it or any of those ideals are going to get you far in a creative space, you're wrong. You're wasting your own time. That sounds like harsh and blunt or whatever, and like some people might really use those methods, but it's wrong. And it's toxic to a great creative space. And Music Mondays is building something different. Music Mondays is building something that's all about creativity. Music Mondays is meant to take the weight off of you for things like articles, things like playlists, things like that. Because you know that when you go to Music Mondays, everything is treated equally, everything is listened to, and everything's treated with respect. Until you come to Music Mondays with disrespect of claims to work and not work, or you disrespect the brand, that'll be the only time anybody from Music Mondays ever disrespects anybody. But we're here to serve the underground and create a new independent space for all types of creative, not just musicians. We're doing this for everybody. Videographers, photographers, artists, painters, digital artists, people with independent brands, people with YouTube channels. Like, this is a media platform for independent creatives. Because the original underground that everybody knew and loved and really enjoyed is gone. Is completely gone, and that's fine. It's something that we've all come to terms with, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, and there's just a lot of people out there that like refuse to go to their assigned spot. Like picture a nuke going off in some planet, and this nuke goes off, and then afterwards everybody you know fucking gets their shit together. It's like people not getting their shit together post event, and that's just like probably probably some of the worst shit, you know what I mean? Like you just can't ride the fence with creativity because a big part of creativity is collaboration. Collaboration is a huge part of creativity. So if you're out there like not as passionate as you claim you are, or hollow, or any of those things, I suggest you get your shit together. Because not only is nobody going to tolerate it, but the scene is changing in a way that you're either going to get put on or left behind. Like, flat out. And Music Mondays is going to only be a filter for that. Like, we can only stop that so much, and we can only help as much as you listen. 25 episodes deep, and I'm still discussing sort of like a topic that I discussed earlier on, but now I'm just discussing it in a different light. And changing the landscape takes time, but I just see a lot of the same things, you know what I mean? So now I have to come at this different approach because I think that people really think this shit is a game. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of subjects that tie into this because there's people that like they don't have the self-confidence in themselves as an artist, and they'd rather go put on other people that they could work with, but they look up to them. And situations like just not being confident enough to put your music out on all platforms, not being confident enough to do all sorts of things like that, and it's just shit that it's not good. It's not good. And that's one of the original reasons I started this podcast from episode 1, was to really speak my mind and make sure everybody knows what the underground was, where it is, and where it's going to be. 25 episodes later, and that is really what this is all about. This is history. And there aren't a lot of us left that can vouch for this history. And there's people that fall off, there's people that quit, there's people that this, that, and the third, but none of those people were fucking made for this shit. If you're still here and you're still passionate, and you have, whether it be 100,000 followers, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, 100 followers, 100 plays, it doesn't fucking matter. You're doing it right. Bullshit can get on, but the people that really put their nose to the fucking grindstone really, really, really benefit long term for everything that they want, and possibly more than they ever imagined. That's why that faith shit's really important. But sort of rambling, sort of not. It's just at the end of the day, if you're not passionate about this shit, you're not gonna make it. Flat out. Like, you gotta love this shit. Like, if you don't love this shit, don't lie to yourself and think you love this shit. Lazy motherfuckers don't love this shit. People who love this shit don't work on music once a week. People who love this shit don't sign into Twitter once a week. People who love this shit fucking put their all into this shit. You hear me? Fuck all that extra shit, bro. It's all fucking excuses. Because to me, if you can't even do any of those things that I just listed, and you're claiming that you have love for this and love for that, you might have love for it, but not enough. Not enough to stop disrespecting yourself and lying. So that's what it is. That's what it is. You're either a fan or you're an artist. I'm not saying artists can't be fans. What I'm saying is you can't ride that fence. Every artist is a fan of another artist, but they're an artist first. not a fan first. See what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like I said, this is sort of why I wanted to like dive deep into this section of things because there really is a lot of angles you could take for this. And at the end of the day, like it sounds harsh, but I want the best for everybody. And seeing the same things over and 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 over is boggling my mind. Truly boggling my mind. Because it just leads into what my next topic is. And it's sort of right before our reviews, but now when I talk about this subject, it's not just for Music Mondays, but it's sort of for like, you know, anything you're submitting for or anything you're doing or anything like that. Um if you're out here submitting the same link multiple times to multiple platforms, and so much so that you don't even remember that you already submitted a link to a platform, that tells me one thing for sure. That tells me that you wake up every day and do the same mindless thing and don't even realize that the whether it be a blog, a media page, or anything, the companies you're submitting to have already seen your link, and if you're submitting it again, you're just sort of like, it, what the fuck? Like, are you even paying attention? Because here's the case. I'm not gonna, call out anybody. I'm not going to, drop anybody's name or anything like that. But a couple weeks ago, I had an artist submit to Music Mondays for live reviews. And I reviewed it live. The VOD got posted. He got credit. And a couple weeks later, because I said that was a couple weeks ago, here we are to right now, fast forward to today, Monday the 12th. I'm going through submissions before I go live, and I see the same link again, and I was like, holy shit, is this guy submitted before? And I go to listen to it again, and it is in fact the same song that I reviewed live, and I'm thinking to myself, this person never replied to their review, but they're submitting for another review for the same fucking song. So I'm like, holy shit, does this guy even know that he's already been reviewed? Or is he just mindlessly, like, dropping this link all day, every day? Like, and this is the kind of shit I'm talking about with people, like, not taking themselves seriously, but they have, like, the guts to submit to a fucking blog or a company or anything. Like, you're not even paying attention to what you do at all. You're not checking your notifications. You're not doing anything like that. You're not even like artists were so thirsty to get reviewed and do this and do that, like since the dawn of time. But now it seems as if like if certain people do get reviewed, they just ignore it and do the whole like robotic thing and just keep going along and along, and it's just like, man, what the fuck? Like, do you even, like, respect yourself as an artist? You know what I mean? Like, because, like, blogs and managers and A&Rs, people look at that. People fucking see that. And they're gonna see that, oh, this guy fucking, posted his link 500 fucking times. That's all his feed is, bro. Oh, that's how this has 100K plays. Like, nobody's gonna think he's been grinding. That's not work ethic. You're just sitting on one song for a whole month instead of cooking up another and releasing that one. That's not work ethic. If anything, that's fucking laziness. So, yeah. just to reiterate that tip, and I've already discussed it here on Music Monday, so I won't spend much time on it. But artists, creatives, watch that. You know, like even if you do double submit or whatever, or do anything like that, always delete it. You know what I mean? Delete that shit. Like, and check your notifications, check your emails, check all of the things because somebody could be trying to contact you and you might not even know it. Like, it gives a bad impression to anybody going to look into your work, whether you take yourself seriously or not. And I think that people like who only put their music on like Spotify and like fucking iTunes and the uh distribution stores, I think it's usually the people that only put their music on there because they're only concerned with making money. Like I definitely see a connection with that a lot. Like usually it's the people like it's never a SoundCloud link that they're spamming, like it's constantly either a YouTube video or a Spotify playlist or a Spotify song, I'm sorry. And there's definitely a connection there. You know what I mean? Because we see it, bro. We see it. Like, we get it. Run up your Spotify. You know what I mean? Like, bro. And it just goes back to the subject of you're just basically gatekeeping yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of fans in other countries that only have access to SoundCloud, only have access to free platforms, and would love to listen to your music, but can't because you're a greedy creative that only uploads to distribution stores. That is nuts. And I don't care what you feel about that because it's the truth. Go ask any real artist and they'll tell you the same shit. Same shit. You're cutting yourself short and you're cutting potential new fans short. That's all that's doing. Because like I tell my artists, like I tell Sunburn, if a song's going to blow up somewhere, it's going to fucking blow up everywhere. Like, they're going to see the video and they're going to be like, oh, I want to go listen to this on the go. I want to go listen to this here, there. Bro, motherfuckers listen to music in all different types of places. I used to know people who used Safari with YouTube because you used to be able to lock your phone. Can't do it anymore. But, bro, put your music everywhere, man. Put your art everywhere. Just because you think you can't make money from it, money's not everything, bro. Building a brand is everything. Having respect for that brand is everything. Straight up. But that's enough on that. I think you guys get the point that integrity's a big deal here in the Zomb household, especially as a creative. But nonetheless, I had a fire batch of submissions to pick from. Not a lot as last week, but or not as many as last week, but yeah, not bad. Um, so per usual, if you'd like to submit for next week, submissions will go live tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday the 13th, and we'll be live next week on the 19th. So Monday the 19th will be episode 26. So if you'd like to submit for episode 26, of course the link will be down below. And also, be on the lookout for the submission tweet tomorrow. Now, interesting set of reviews. Got a lot of freestyle things here. Got a lot of just interesting notes I have. But the first submission on my list is from a collective, and I believe it's a collective, titled Vice Paradise. And they submitted a track, Edibles, Nothing New, which is sort of one of those tracks that switches up the beat halfway through, and both of which are extremely fire. But this was submitted by an individual known as Breezy Biscotti. And one of the first things I noted was the underground vibe to this. Like, if you actually watch the visual, the insane like mix of like urban shots with like nature shots and all this type of shit. Let me link this in chat, and of course linked in the description of the YouTube video as well. Um, yeah, they had a great mix in this visual of shots and filters and just a lot of good shit here that resembles like early 2018, and I was really fucking with it, honestly. The first beat kicks on because, as you know, this is like one of those dual kind of songs where the beat switches up halfway through. Um, like I said, Fire Underground vibes. The first beat's pretty ethereal too. It's very chill, but when the vocals drop, it gives it almost a softer tone, but it still has the rawness that accompanies the visual and the beat, which I really enjoyed. I feel like the first individual with vocals here did really well. But the verse finishes out with basic but definitely unique lyrics for sure. Definitely some good vibes in there. And the beat switches to a dark trap sort of, just real underground type, beat for sure. And then another vocalist hops on a different, vibe for sure than the first vocalist, but both were really fire. Both did their thing. But I think one thing that I didn't care for when I started doing a little research on Vice Paradise is I couldn't tell who is who. Like, now, this isn't to call out Vice Paradise or anything like that. This is more so like just an example of the things that I talk about all the time. Is your socials and your branding really being on point? Um, so if you go to the link and you go to Vice Paradise's YouTube channel, the Twitter nor Instagram links are dead links, and the link tree has the YouTube, the SoundCloud, the Spotify, and the Apple Music, and socials are linked at the bottom again. But yeah, there is a lot of dead links in places that I was looking for more information, to be honest with you. And I think one thing that these guys would benefit from is clarifying who's on each verse, for sure. Like, I definitely understand the whole collective group kind of deal here, but early on, I think people would really benefit from knowing who's who, for sure. For sure. Like, take their Twitter, for example. They're following only 16 people, and there's no way to know who's who. And I think maybe one way you could fix that would be in the description here. There's a lot of credit for everybody, which is excellent. But I would even go further and actually put each verse, to be honest. Maybe lyrics in description as well. Things like that really help groups get the kind of vibe that they want to get. You know what I mean? Like, that way people won't have to search as hard for things. But other than that, 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely. You don't see a lot of groups do as well as Vice Paradise does. They really do a great job at meshing a lot of sounds, and they definitely have visuals on lock. And the majority of their branding's perfect, for sure. So I really fuck with them. Thank you, Vice Paradise, for the submission. Go show them some love. Go check out their library, man. Shout out you guys. Definitely enjoyed their sound, for sure, for sure. Now, like I said, the submissions weren't as poppin' as last week, so I slimmed it down to only a couple for this week. And our last submission of the night is definitely last, but certainly not fucking least. Um, I have my good artist friend here, who I also manage, Sunburn, and he submitted his latest visual off of his album, titled "Eclipse Me," and it's a single from his album "Keep It Secret, Keep It Safe." Um, Now let me link this in chat, and of course, linked in the description of the YouTube video as well. So I slimmed it down to 2 visuals this week, because I just wanted to keep it a visual theme, and I think that visuals can definitely uh get a lot more love than they normally get. You know what I mean? Like I think independently, creators work really hard on visuals, and when they're not like made with a budget and stuff, I feel like they don't get as much love. So definitely go give these 2 visuals some love for sure. But Sunbird submitted this track titled "Eclipse Me," which is the official visual and music video. Um, Now there really isn't anywhere to start with this track other than it's just absolutely fucking insane. Sunburn pitched this album to me a while ago, and this was actually the song that stood out like just instantly to me, and I knew was going to be the absolute hit of his album for sure, like absolutely for sure. Now, if you haven't heard Eclipse Me, just the audio, I highly, 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 highly go fucking recommend you go listen to that shit, because it is crazy. And I'm definitely not just gassing him because he's my artist. I'm gassing him because everybody else has gassed him as well. Like, it is literally not just me. Like, you guys don't understand. Music Mondays fam, go listen to this. But he not only submitted the audio, he submitted the official music video. And the video starts off with a great concept he came up with himself. You have video game footage combined with IRL footage, and it has this nature forest background, which perfectly fits Eclipse Me, in my opinion. Like, I just feel like Eclipse Me was this mash of things that you could almost, like, you could envision anything. So, this mash of content that Sunbird put together for this music video fits that criteria perfectly. Like, so many things are in here, but they all mesh so well together. And I feel like if you listen to Eclipse Me, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But perfect combination of IRL footage, and especially like the fact that this is an independent DIY music video, and it comes out almost as well as things that people pay for or people pay editors for, and it's just truly something else. Like, showed me the album dropped, we made the visual, he showed me the visual. This 100% out of anybody I've ever worked with, and not anybody with a budget, I'm talking DIY shit, just all do it yourself. This is bar none the best visual that I have ever seen from an independent musician. 100%. Like, you motherfuckers need to give Sunburn his flowers now instead of later, because this train isn't stopping, and I have a feeling it's going to get better, because this is literally just the start. So, final thoughts on Eclipse Me in the official music video. Probably one of the best things going on in the underground right now. Flat out. Like, because at the end of the day, there aren't a lot of, like, creators that make something as pure as this and as consistent and as high quality, that's all done by them. You just don't fucking see it anymore. And if you do, point them in my direction because Music Mondays needs more of sunburns. Okay? Flat out. So, yeah, those are my closing thoughts, man. 10 out of 10 for me. Videos linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Videos linked in chat. Thank you, Sunburn, for the submission. Everyone go show him some love. Everyone go Google Sunburn. Look up Eclipse Me. Look up Keep It Secret, Keep It Safe. Do all that. Thank you, homie. So, those are this week's submissions. Short, but totally sweet and worth it. I think both of these submissions were really, really, really dope. Other than the sort of Debbie Downers that plagued the submissions this week, I think these two stood out the most to me and really deserves the spotlight, 100%. So shout out Sunburn, shout out Vice Paradise, man. Keep doing your thing. You guys are both wonderful. Now, to wrap the show up and to discuss a little further why I didn't take as many submissions this week. And it's just because a lot of the choices that artists give me when they do submit are only paid platforms, and this is sort of why we're doing the SoundCloud exclusive playlist and really just moving towards SoundCloud only type of content because people really only link Spotify links like when your link tree is only paid platforms where you directly earn money, that's not something that Music Mondays really condones. Now, everybody has to eat. Everybody has bills to pay. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way. You don't just skip the work in music. And just because you're fired, you don't skip the line either. Flat out. And I think what's the word? I think starving your fans of free content is gross. In my humble opinion. In the most humble way, I think that's gross. No matter how much bread you make, give people free content, man. And you'll totally thank yourself later for it, and you'll understand why. But neither here nor there. Whether you hear this and listen to it or not, doesn't really matter. It's just here for those who do need it and do want to listen. Because I would feel an obligation to say it if I didn't. And that's why I do. But what you do with the information from Music Mondays and onward is up to you. Everybody's different, and everybody's path can go a lot of different ways. But there's one thing that you got to keep really close to yourself, and that's your dignity, that's your integrity, that's your art. Care about your art. And put out masterpieces like the masterpieces that you paint, man. But I think that's going to do it for Music Mondays episode 25. A little bit of a more serious episode, but definitely some things that had to be discussed, just because I'm quite about done talking about what Music Mondays is going to do, quote unquote. We're just going to show you. And that's it. And I think a lot of you will be very pleased and very excited to see what kind of environment and what kind of content we have ready for you. So, it's been Zomb Slays, Music Mondays episode 25. Submissions open tomorrow for next week. So, tomorrow is Tuesday the 13th, so be on the lookout. on our Twitter for the submission tweet. And if you've submitted before, try to submit a different track, please, and submit your best track. But, anyways, this has been Zomb Slays. This is Music Mondays episode 25, even though I said it like 3 times. Submissions open tomorrow. This VOD will be live on YouTube at Zomb Slays this Saturday. New written article out this Friday. And yeah, follow All Music Mondays on all social media. Links in description, links in chat. Thank you guys. Alright, I'll catch you next week. Later, chat.